Hi guys, Alex here at Network A1A and welcome to episode 2 of the Networking Labs YouTube channel. So before we do get started, I hope you guys had a great New Year and a great Christmas. Hope you guys relaxed, took it easy with the family and took some good time off studying for all these certifications. So yeah, let's get into this episode. So before we do get into it, actually, I just want to say episode 1, check that out. It is left in a playlist on the channel. So in that playlist or in that episode, we split it up to 3 parts, as one big episode would be too large. So what we did is we configured BGP, we configured PPP, both PAP and CHAP options as well for authentication. We then configured OSPF and we had HSRP running within our LAN to provide some redundancy. So in episode 2, we are focusing on layer 2. So this is going to be both VTP and through spanning trees. So in this video, as it's going to be far too large, we're going to be configuring and focusing on our interfaces, so both our trunk and access interfaces. We're going to be configuring a VTP, and then we're going to be configuring a layer 2 ether channel. So we're going to be using LACP, which is obviously not the Cisco proprietary, it is the IEEE standard of the ether channel. So before we do get into the video, I've said that about 3 times now, but yeah, I'm just going to talk to you guys about the topology. So we've got our VLAN 10 here, our VLAN 20 here, both connected to our access switches. So VLAN 10 switch 4, VLAN 20 switch 5. So these are our access switches. We then connect our access switches up to our distribution layer, which is this layer up here. So in order to provide reliability and redundancy, we have switch 4 connected to both switch 2 and switch 3. And then we have our switch 5 access connected to both our switch 2 and our switch 3. Therefore, in the case of, let's say, switch 4 which connects to switch 2, that going down, it can then pass our frames up from switch 4 up to switch 3 instead of the switch 2. So yeah, we'll be going more into that into the next video when we're configuring spanning tree. I'm going to draw some diagrams to where the traffic originally goes from when we first configured it to where we want to actually optimize the traffic and get the traffic flowing from manipulate the traffic to flow where we want it to actually go. So yeah, traffic is obviously provides redundancy from our distribution layer, from our switch 4 to switch 2 and to switch 3, and vice versa from switch 5 to switch 2 and to switch 3. So that's that. And then we have an ether channel just running here between switch 2 and switch 3, and this is going to be port channel 1. We're then going from our switch 2 up to our switch 1, which is going to be our core layer, and from our switch 3 up to our switch 1. And then we're going to have our layer 3 ether channel, which is connecting us from our switch to our router, which can then route us out towards the internet and towards our ISP. So first of all, I think we're going to, as this is quite a big topology, well, not a big topology, but a lot of configuring, we're going to configure our interfaces first. So we're going to start with our access interfaces. So this is going to be both switch 4 and switch 5. Actually, no, we're going to go from top to bottom, as we're going to configure VTP, remember. So we're going to go to switch 1, and we're going to go enable, conf t, and then we're going to go host name. We'll just give it the host name first of all, switch 1. So let's go first of all and configure our trunk interfaces. So we're going interface, so GI3/3, going switch port mode trunk, switch port trunk, and we'll state the encapsulation method .1q. And we'll go switch port mode, and we'll just make it a trunk there. So there's that, and then interface 3/2. Then we just make that a trunk as well. So show interface trunk. So we have these guys trunking, and we can also see that these VLANs are allowed on the trunk. So I haven't configured the VLANs yet, but I'm going to do that just now. So we're going to go VLAN 10, name, I'll just call it 10, and then we'll go VLAN 20, name 20, and we will exit there. So that's all cool. So these two are trunk here, and then we'll go and set this to VTP mode, and so automatically or by default every switch is a server. So as you can see, it's already a server. So I'm going to also put the VTP password. I'm going to make a password so it's Cisco, and then I'm going to put VTP domain, and I'm going to make the domain CCNA. So we've gone from the Nord domain to the CCNA.com domain. So straight from the box, the default is the Nord domain, and also it doesn't have a password set by default, and also the VTP mode is also a server by default. So we've done that there. And then we need to, obviously, VLAN trunking protocol, it doesn't create trunking links. You need a trunking able to traverse the VLAN information to other switches. So that's why we have to create our trunks, but we're going to obviously create the trunk anyway. So we'll go on switch 2, and then we'll just quickly have a look at our switch 2. Host name, switch 2, show interface trunk. There we go. So that one's trunking is I think the switches in GNS3, they have auto negotiation already on, so it's automatically negotiated to become a trunk. So that's okay. So we just need to create our trunks on interface GI 1/0 and 1/1. Yep. So we can hit the range command here. There we go, and then we'll go switch port, encapsulation, trunk, encapsulation, .1Q, and then we can also go switch port mode, and then we can trunk. There we go there. So the reason I have made them both trunks is we're configuring them as ether channels. So in order to create an ether channel, in order for the interface to be bundled within an ether channel, the two interfaces have to have the exact same configuration, this being speed, duplex settings. If they're both access ports, they both need to be a part of the same VLAN. If they're both trunks, they both need to be obviously set as a trunk. Both need to have .1Q or ISL as their encapsulation method. They both need to be trunking the same VLANs. So obviously you can hit the switch port trunk allowed VLAN and then state your VLAN settings. So they both need to be trunking the same VLANs as well in order for them to be bundled within the same ether channel. So there's that. So our switch 1 and our switch 2 is done. We just need to go ahead on switch 3 now. So I'll go on to switch 3. Enable CompT, and then we'll go host name, switch 3. And then we will also just quickly do a show interface trunk. And we should be trunking on all those. Yep. So the only one we need to do is our GI 0/0 and our GI 1/0. So interface GI 0/0, I think it is. Yeah. Just gonna go switch port trunk encapsulation .1Q. Oops a daisy. And then we'll go our switch port mode and trunk. So there's that. And what was the other one we had to do? 2/1, sorry. Interface GI 2/1. Switch port mode. It's confusing with all these interfaces that you have to configure. Because you end up missing one down the line. I can guarantee we'll miss one here today. So that was 2/1 and 0/0. So I'm gonna go onto our switch 2 as well and do our 2/0. I forgot that one. So let's go CompT interface GI 2/0 and then just do that. Sorry, it's a bit laggy today. I've got all these interfaces and it's just killing my CPU at the moment on my laptop. But so I've got all these devices running in GNS3. It's just killing my CPU. well, the GNS3 CPU, but we'll carry on. It seems that the switches really do use up a lot of resources, but you know, I've got quite a few. This is a switch as well, so we've got you know, 6 switches. So but there we go. So show interface trunk. I'm using the GNS3 VM, by the way, guys, in order to run all these devices. So there we go. So we have 1/0 and 1/1. Yep. 2/0. Yep, and 3/3. So that's all right. Yep. So GR0/0. No, I need to do GR0/0 as well. See, I knew I'd miss some. This is the most difficult part, honestly. Seeing if you've missed out, because if you've missed out one, you'd probably be troubleshooting why, for example, VTP isn't sending those VLANs across. So this is a big factor that, you know, you've accidentally forgot to create a trunk link, as obviously it's not going to traverse the wire if it's not set as a trunk. So there's that, and then I think I'm all done. So show interface trunk. So let's just double check. So we've got 0/0. Yep. So this is switch 2, 0/0, 1/0, 1/1, 2/0, and 3/3. Yep. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that looks good. We'll know if our switch 4 and switch 5 get the correct VLANs. So CompT, host name, that's all. So let's do show interface trunk. So yeah, that's right. Sorry guys about all of this. I just think it's good to, you know, just go through the whole thing instead of like already having things set up. Just because it's good for troubleshooting as well. If I did forget to do a trunk there, we could troubleshoot and see why it's not getting the correct VLAN information, and that would have been the reason, because it's not a trunk. But yeah, that's also correct. So now we're all good. I'm going to go onto our switch 2, and we're going to go onto here, and we're going to go CompT, and we're going to go VTP mode, and we're going to make this one a client. So obviously with a client mode you can't create VLANs, and as you guys know, transparent mode, you can create VLANs, but you don't participate in forwarding VTP information. In VTP version 2, if you receive a VTP message, then you will forward it on. But in VTP version 1, transparent mode, you don't forward any VTP messages at all that you've received. They're just cut off. But VTP version 2, if you're set in transparent mode, then you can forward VTP messages. So VTP mode client. I'm just going to set them all as clients, and then I'll put the password on, etc. So VTP mode. Oops, a daisy. I haven't done VTP in a while, but yeah, it's good to get back into it, and you know, get back into these sort of the CCNA topics, which weren't too heavy, but yeah, it's good to try and get back in and configuring them, and you know, learning about them again, as you don't want to lose touch with these things. So VTP, so let's do show VTP status. So this is on our switch 1. So we're in part of the CCNA domain. We are our server, and the VTP password, but you can also do show VTP password there. So let's have a look, and our VTP password is Cisco. So let's do here, and we'll go show VTP status. And as you guys can see, we're not part of anything. So we're part of the client. We're not part of any domain name, sorry. And to show VTP. and we don't have a VTP password set. So let's go onto here and we'll go VTP password and we'll go Cisco, and we should actually join that domain as we're part of the NOR domain. So do show VTP. So now we've got the password, we should join the CCNA.com domain, but I'm just going to join it anyway. Compt VTP domain CCNA. So we should be getting VTP info from that guy. See, there we go, MD5 check mismatch. So VTP password, and we're going to go with Cisco. VTP password Cisco. VTP password Cisco. So just to clarify, we'll go on this guy and we'll go show VLAN brief, and these are the VLANs that we configured. So let's see if it's coming, the information is being relayed through the network. So show VLAN brief. Okay, this guy's got 10 and 20. Okay, so I thought that automatically if you were in part of the NOR domain, you just joined the domain if you had the password or whatever, but it doesn't look like that, so it looks like I'm wrong. So we're going to go to VTP domain CCNA.com. There we go. MD5 mismatch. It's because I think the domain name and the password are both used in the MD5. That could be in the MD5 hash, that could be why. So VTP domain, as I said, it's been a while since I've done VTP, but nevertheless, because it's got CCNA.com, see? Let's go on here and let's go show VTP status. Oh yeah, there we go. They did join it. So show VTP password, show VLAN brief. Okay, there we go. Yeah, if you're part of the NOR domain, you do join the domain that you're receiving the messages from. I thought it was that. It obviously just took a while to get through. So there we go. I was correct. I wasn't losing my marbles. That's because it can be an issue if, let's say for example, you have a switch which was a client, you ripped out the network, and it had a big revision number. So let's go show VTP status. There we go. So our revision number, so we can see here, our revision number is 2. But let's say we had a server with a revision number of 3, and then we had a client which was used in an old network, or we forgot to wipe the VLAN.dat file and reload it, so it had a fresh VLAN.dat file and a fresh revision number. So it was revision number of 0 or 1. I'm not too sure what it starts on. And then we put it into the network, and it actually had a revision number of say 10, and it had no VLANs, etc. So if you put that into your network, everything is going to it syncs towards what has the highest revision number, even a server. So if a client is sending out VTP messages with a revision number of 10, they're all going to sync to that VTP message and what that client is sending out. So they will all use that revision number, and everything will be wiped because they're going to that VTP client which is having a revision number of 10, opposed to the server which has a revision number of say 4 or 5. So that's why you need to be careful when adding old switches. You need to erase the VLAN.dat file, reload the switch, and make sure it has a fresh configuration and nothing in the VLAN.dat file, which could obviously affect your network when you add it in. So even if it has no VLANs part of it, the configuration revision number is going to be high, as you can add and delete VLANs, which is going to increase the revision number. So you could have say 10 VLANs, then 10 VLANs within your network, and then you add that, and then you have 0 because the revision number is higher than what you previously had. I'm not sure if that made any sense, but I think you guys will get the gist of what I'm trying to say. So there we go. So now we have that. Unfortunately, VTP doesn't do all the work for you. You still have to, as you can see, add the interfaces into the VLANs. So we'll do that now. T, and then we'll go interface GI3/0. Switch port mode access, and then we'll go switch port access VLAN 10, and then with this guy, same thing, 3/0 again, so interface GI3/0, switch port mode access, VLAN 20 on this guy. So there we go. Show VLAN brief. Boom. That's all great. So now we've done that, I'm just going to go on to switch 1 and quickly create our, because we're going to be doing inter VLAN routing, but with a layer 3 switch, so SVIs. So I'm going to go interface VLAN 10, IP address 10.0.1.254. Just make sure, just in case. I always do that, even if you don't have to. I'm just so used to it, because obviously configuring physical interfaces. So IP address 20.0.1.254. So now I've got to show IP interface brief, and then we can see that our VLANs are both up, so that's all great. So now, final thing we want to do is configure our layer 2 ether channel, which is this guy here. So we're going to switch 2. So first of all, I'm just going to show you, so show run interface GI1/0. So these both have the exact same configuration. That's what's needed in order for them to be bundled correctly within the ether channel. So they both need to be, well, they have different settings, so they both need to have the same speed, duplex, as I said earlier, trunking the correct VLANs, being access port in the same VLAN if they are. So there we go, that's all good. So we're going to go T, and then I completely forgot on them to do GI1/1. Then we'll go channel group. I could have done this whilst I had them both in the same thing. So channel group, and we're just going to call it 1, and then we're going to go mode. And as we're using LACP, we're going to go mode active. And then I thought I'd go interface GI. See, it's gone down now. It should come back up in a minute. There we go. So that was on switch 2. And then we'll go on to switch 3. We'll go interface GI1/0, or we'll do it in the range way. 0 to 1. Then we'll go channel group 1 mode, and we'll have this active. This side could obviously be passive, as it's waiting for the negotiation message. Active, it's actively sending the negotiation message, trying to form that ether channel. So there we go. So if I go now, port channel 1, and then I go switch port trunk encapsulation .1Q, and I go switch port mode, and then we make this the actual ether channel itself trunk. So if I go show interface trunk, there we go, we've got the port channel itself trunking instead of the individual physical interfaces. So there we go. Yeah, that it is very easy to configure VTP. You know, the theory behind it, I'd advise you guys to have a look at. You know, there is a bit of theory in when you're actually configuring it, and how often VTP messages sent. They're sent every 5 minutes. You know, what range of VLANs you can actually configure in a server, and what range of VLANs you configure when you actually running as a transparent. in transparent mode. So yeah, I'd advise you guys to do that. The next video, what we're going to do is we're going to be manipulating spanning trees. So I'm going to show you guys how you can do that and where we want spanning tree to send our frames. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing in the next video. So hope you guys did enjoy the video. I'm just going to quickly check that obviously everything is all good. So let's go into our console, onto our PC, and we're just going to try and ping this PC to over here, which should work. Ping 20, is it? .0.1. I think it's a .1. So let's see. There we go. We can ping that guy. So I'm going to have a look at what path we're taking off camera, and then we're going to I'm going to draw some diagrams, so what path we are taking, and then draw some diagrams to what path I do want to take to get to that guy. So yeah, hope you guys did enjoy the video, and yeah, be sure to keep your eyes peeled for the next video, which is going to be spanning tree. Follow me on Twitter, which is @networka1a. I'm going to leave it in the description below. Comment, like the video, give me some constructive criticism, and yeah, hope to see you guys in the next video. And if you have anything you want to tell me, message me on Twitter. And yeah, if you want to talk about anything you know, network related, then message me on Twitter, and yeah, we can start a little conversation, whether this be studying for the CCNP as to what I'm doing, or studying for your CCNA, if you guys want any help with that. So yeah, hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll see you in the next one.